Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the most compassionate and who is the most merciful. Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about climate change. What is it really, climate change? And how it is going to affect our life. Climate change is one of the most great challenge that facing the world. Climate change is that one of the most difficult or hurdle that every individual entity facing on the face of this earth. Climate change, one of the climates, one environmental as a result of gas carbon that affecting every single people's life. Our environment temperature must suited our living life from humanity to species. Species must live in such a standard and fitted environmental weather. If the temperature rises above 2 degrees, then it will risk the life of 30% of our species extinction. Obviously, the temperature rise of 2 degrees Celsius will risk the life of our 30% of our species extinction. The marine food chains could absolutely collapse, and the ecosystem could completely disappear. In the meantime, as the temperature rises about 2 degrees Celsius, which 30% of our species life will be at risk, and at the same time our humanity life as a food and water drinking will completely trigger in a massive movement, which absolutely lead to migration, conflict and famine. In 2013, a planet passed a dangerous milestone when atmospheric level of carbon dioxide exceeded 400 parts per million, prompting the scientific community to advocate renewed vigor in efforts to combat climate change. However, current commitment by the world's government fall far short of the greenhouse gas reduction needed to limit global temperature to 2 degrees Celsius. We must control and needed to limit global rise temperature to 2 degrees Celsius by 2020. We need to take an immediate and urgent measures to slow down and reduce the extent of the climate crisis. EIA'S Compaign is focused on carbon and hydrofluorocarbons. HCFCs, third generation of gases produced by chemical industries in response to phase out of zone depleting CFCs and HCFCs used in refrigeration and air conditioning. These super greenhouse gases, so called because of their global warming potential, are often thousands of times higher than CO2, are the fastest growing source of the greenhouse emission. EIA is campaigning for a global agreement. EIA is campaigning for a global agreement under the Montreal Protocol to phase down the production and use of HCFCs. Such an agreement by the world's government could prevent the equivalent of 100 billion tons of CO2 by 2050. EIA has got a major mission also tackling the illegal trade of CFCs and HCFCs, which are also super greenhouse gases, as well as working to prevent climate change by protecting forests. When we're talking about the climate change, is a change in a statistical distribution of a weather in a environmental seeing atmospheric level of carbon dioxide, whereas the world leaders must be agreed to reduce the use of greenhouse gases in order to protect the danger or the risk of 30% of our species and protect the migration, famine. This massive affection and when this massive effect will last and change our life in a redundancy in the most lasting period of time. Scientific scientific people, scientifically working very hard to relate and correspond the relationship of this climate change between past, present, and the future, and how in the future relate the acceleration amount of that greenhouse in terms to reduce and to prevent in the future as the necessary and initial life in our daily inquiry life. Also, we can simplify to prevent the climate change risk by making a theoretical model